Hey, this month I am so honored. This is way overdue. I am so honored to have my good friend ℕ𝔼𝔸 with me. ℕ𝔼𝔸 and I have been working together
about 5 years now.
About 5 years now.
Yes.
This is my lender extraordinaire, you guys. If you call me or text me and say, hey, Catherine, I want to do a refi or I want to buy a house, this is the person that I will send you to.
Hey, we met about 5 years ago. I wandered into an open house and I've been doing mortgages for about 3 days. So yeah, it's been about 5 years.
Which shows that he's a good salesperson because he got me to be on board with his third day on the job.
It's true.
You had a lot of business savvy even before that too, so it's not like you were completely rookie to the finance business.
Yeah.
And one of the things I love about working with ℕ𝔼𝔸 is that we do things the right way up front. I have this listing right now and I got an offer in the other day and there was a pre-qual letter included and it's from one of those 1, 2, 3 online companies, you know, and it says income verified no, assets verified no. So of course the first thing I do is say, okay, you know, let's do a cross qual here. Sure enough, the buyers were so sad because they really wanted this house. They weren't even close to being able to qualify.
Yeah.
Where ℕ𝔼𝔸 is different is, ℕ𝔼𝔸, where do you stand out in that regard?
So what my team and I do is that we focus on gathering everything up front so that way we can set the right expectations from the start, because the last thing you want to do is to take a client to go see a $500,000 house when they only qualify for a $400,000 home.
Yeah.
So we do everything up front and our due diligence up front. That way we set the proper expectation moving forward, and that way everyone's on the same page so that we don't run into these situations.
I love that. I mean, he gets them in front of an underwriter, we get them approved up front. When I know that when I go take my clients home shopping, that we're shopping with confidence. We know numbers, we understand what the payments are gonna look like, and they just feel peaceful about the whole process.
Yeah, I mean, there's enough going on during escrow to cause stress and work that you want to make sure you do everything your due diligence up front so that way escrow can be as smooth and as seamless as possible.
Plus, that's like, no offense, the least fun part of the process, so you might as well just get it out of the way, then you get to do the fun part anyway, right?
Exactly, yeah.
And the other thing that I really appreciate too is when we find that home and you get that text from me, okay, ℕ𝔼𝔸, I gotta talk to you, we found the one. And then it might be a multiple offer situation and we really want to stand out, we really want to be set apart. I'm gonna give away some of my tricks here, but and because of how you work and what we've done before, we're able to shorten some of those timelines. You want to talk about that?
Yeah, so a couple things, and one of the benefits of doing everything up front is that we're able to shorten those loan contingencies to typical loan contingency is 21 days. We can shorten them to 12 to 14, and we can close in as fast as 2 weeks. So you don't always need to be able to close in 2 weeks, but if you're going up against multiple offers and you can show that seller that, hey, my client will remove all their contingencies in 2 weeks versus 3 or 4, then it gives us that competitive edge. And what we also do for all of our clients is that we pay for all their appraisals. So it does a couple things. It's going to save them, $500 to $700 out of pocket.
Money. Yep.
That's right.
We like that.
Number one, right? The second is that you can write all of your offers with shorter contingency periods for that appraisal. So we can tell the seller, hey, we'll remove our contingency period in 10 days versus a standard 2 to 3 weeks like most banks.
Except for VA.
Except for VA, because VA still takes 2 weeks. But our appraisal contingency periods are still 14 to 17 days on VA, whereas most banks are 3+ weeks.
Yeah, and not that we're trying to rush all of you to close, trust me, there are some situations where, the seller wants a longer close, there are some situations where the seller really wants a shorter close, and you're okay with that. Yeah. It's just great to be able to have that wiggle room and have that ability to cater the offer to work with both the buyer and the seller and to keep both sides happy, and that really is so much a part of the negotiation process, is making all the pieces of the puzzle fit.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Well, what else do you want them to know? I mean, is there anything about the market that they should know?
Just that, it really does matter who you work with, especially in the local market, that you want to make sure that you're doing your due diligence up front. And getting all the hard stuff out of the way, because as you said, the fun part is shopping for the house, so you want to get the rough stuff done up front. And then other than that, just be aware of who's out there and who you're listening to.
You know, it's true, and I'm gonna just talk about Taylor for a second. You know, Taylor is such a great communicator, and I always tell my clients before I send them to him that Taylor's a straight shooter. He's not gonna just tell you what you want to hear. He's gonna tell you the truth, and he works with a huge amount of integrity, which I really, really respect in him. I know that when I send somebody to him, I can send them to him in confidence that he will look over everything thoroughly. He will be as creative as possible within the guidelines of what you're allowed to be creative with, and not breaking any rules or anything like that, because I'm not a rule breaker. I'm such a rule follower. But he's a great communicator too. He just has his systems in place, and he has his staff in place to make sure to go, okay, this is what you can expect, and then he follows up with them, and you just take great care of them.
Thank you, I appreciate it. And we do our best to be creative and think outside the box while still doing what's best for the client.
Yeah. And didn't I see on Facebook the other day that you just got a really big honor?
You did. I was ranked this year in the top 500 for Scotsman Guide Nation.
Boom! Good job.
Thank you.
Not bad. 5 years, this guy is like crushing it. Taylor, thank you so much for spending time with me today. It's, like I said, it's been long overdue, and I appreciate you very much.
Absolutely, thank you. I appreciate everything. Look forward to working together in the future.
Yeah.
Cool.
And remember, if you are thinking of buying a home, you can get that appraisal covered. So
Correct.
you'll be in good hands and save some money.
Yep.
So make sure to give him a call. I'll post his info. Don't worry about it.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks. See you next month.